What do you do when you get angry? It is really important that you know the answer to that question, because it is a vital question that every person has to address if they're actually going to be able to stop themselves from getting angry. In this video, we're going to talk about how to calm down when you're angry. You can't calm down if you don't know how you get angry first. That's important. So as we go through this video, we're going to understand anger a little bit more, and we're going to understand calmness a little bit more. And then I want to share with you 6 suggestions for how to calm down instead of be angry. You don't have to be angry. The fact that you are watching this video right now is a great sign, because that says to me that you're not okay staying that way. That being angry isn't the way that you want to handle your problems. There are a lot of other ways to handle problems. So let's talk about those. In fact, our problems can be better handled if we are calm. So how do we get calm? Let's talk about that. So you need to know how you get angry. What do? Do you seclude yourself and not talk to anybody and not make eye contact? Do you raise your voice and raise the roof? Do you instill fear in people? Do you get aggressive, even physically aggressive maybe sometimes? Are those choices that you have made in the past when you feel the anger boiling inside of you? What does it feel like when that anger is boiling inside? See, for me, I know that it feels like a knot in the pit of my stomach. And it feels like if I just shoot darts out my mouth at somebody or say something really hurtful or scream, then that knot will be released. And technically it kind of is released at that time, because what happens chemically in the brain with the release of the endorphins that come from that exertion of producing that anger and that added emotion actually does cause a temporary calm. But it's a chemical calm. It's a fake calm. It's not the type of calm where the person chose it, they're in control, and they think clearly the whole way through, and they can solve a problem in it. It's the type of calm that comes after the person got chemical and didn't solve their problem properly. Before you get to yelling or aggression or isolation, do you clench? Do you think a certain thought in your mind? Is there a knot in the pit of your stomach? What happens? You have to know that. That's step number 1. If you know that, then you can have a trigger to stop yourself from going all the way to anger. That first sensation that you get is your trigger. That is going to be the thing that helps you the very most in choosing calmness instead of anger. Getting angry is definitely a choice, but the good news is calmness is a choice too. You can choose either one. So why not just choose calmness? This video is designed to target adults and helping adults with their angers, specifically parents. But these same skills that we're going to discuss, these 6 suggestions, will work for a person of any age. There are really great ways to help our children choose calmness too. We can teach them all of these 6 suggestions that we're going to go over here, but there's also a skill set that we teach to our children in a book called Parenting a House United. I know it looks a little intimidating, but there is a lot of great skill sets in here. And in my course, which is a little bit easier to digest, I think, for helping parents conquer our anger and choose calmness, and help our children also choose calmness instead of anger as well. So these are the 6 suggestions for choosing calmness in that moment where we could choose anger. Number 1, recognize calmness is a choice and make a decision now that that is going to be your new choice. And if you ever don't choose it, stop yourself the moment you've recognized you're not choosing calmness. Tell yourself stop and do not start talking again until you're calm and you're thinking clearly about the words you have planned to say. That brings me to suggestion number 2, which is to make a plan. The key to following through with making any kind of personal change goal that we have is to plan before the moment occurs when we're going to need the skill. So this means that if I'm going to choose calmness instead of anger at a time when I am not about to get angry, in fact, probably multiple times when I'm not about to get angry, I need to go through in my mind and maybe even act out what I'm going to do if I feel that first hint of anger coming on. Remember the clenched fists or teeth, the thought that comes into your head like they never care. Whatever it is that pops into your body, and that's first indicator that you're going to start to be angry. As soon as you get that, you will go into your plan if you've thought about it and practiced it when it wasn't a time that you actually needed it. Suggestion number 3 is tell yourself to stop talking. You do not have to say something immediately. I think people feel like because they're in a circumstance or an interaction with another person where that person might be talking, that they are required to also talk. They're not. That's not a truth. They can choose whether to talk or whether not to talk, but it's best to tell yourself to stop talking. You've got to evaluate what's going on inside of yourself, and unless you pull back and stop for a second, you're going to say something or do something that you'll end up regretting. And why not interact with no regrets? Suggestion number 4, have a calm down place. Every person needs to have a place to get calm or a plan for how they will get calm. Some people sit in a rocking chair and rock. Some people dig in the dirt for a minute while they think. Other people pray or sing. Some people go to their room and ponder. You need to have a place that you have designated as your calm place. Now, ideally, a calm place can be just a place you go to in your mind, where you just get calm in your mind, because you can't always have your rocking chair with you, strapped to the top of the car when you go to the office or you're at a family party, right? But to start with, if you need the rocking chair or the dirt to dig in, then that's fine. It sure is better than having some sort of an anger room, which happens to be a new trend that's happening around the world, where people go and just let all their anger out. That's not going to help anybody learn to be calm or be more in control. In fact, if anything, it would make a person feel entitled to lose control and be angry on other people. And if they didn't have someone to pay to get angry at, which is what these anger rooms are for, then what might they do to a real person? That's a dangerous trend. No, we need to empower ourselves and the people around us that calmness is one of our choices. We can pick it and feel amazing because we did. But first we need to know, a baby step, where's a good place for us to go to get calm. So for me, it's always been to my room, sometimes my closet even. I'll go into my walk-in closet and I kneel there and I pray and I talk to God about it and I sing. And I bring truth and light. I start declaring the things I know to be true. And then I plan for how to handle the situation after. Now, I have to be honest with you. I very rarely ever have to go to my closet anymore for that calmness, because I have a habit of calmness. It's something I've trained myself to do. And I know that if I can do it, being as strong-willed as I am, that really anybody can. Suggestion number 5 is to tell yourself truths. Just like I mentioned, when I'm in my place that's my calm place, I tell myself the truth. The truth is, that person doesn't want to hurt me. They're frustrated right now. The truth is, I know I don't want to hurt them or say anything that I would regret. The truth is, I'm their parent, and it's my job to do teaching. The truth is, they're a learner, and it's their job to do learning. So then how do we get everybody to a place where they can be their proper roles? They can be teachers and learners and have a healthy, good interaction instead of something that's going to lead to a power struggle, which obviously anger would do. That brings me to suggestion number 6, which is to plan out the words you will say exactly. In fact, when I was doing treatment foster care for troubled youth ages 12 to 18 for a number of years, I took recipe cards and I wrote down word for word what I would say when I was going to correct my children or when they were out of control, how I was going to help them get calm and get back in control without losing my calmness at the same time. I had to have a plan. I wrote down the exact words. I planned the exact skills that I needed. And then I did not deviate from the script. I thought they would think I was nuts, looking at these cards to parent them, instead of just being so smooth and saying the best parenting language off the cuff. I mean, after all, I was getting paid to have them come to my home. But I was wrong. They didn't think that I was a buffoon in parent land. They actually had more respect for me. They felt like it was more fair somehow that I was governing myself if they were being taught to govern themselves. They trusted me because they knew I was not going to pull away from that script and say something that I would regret. I had to hold to that script for almost a good year before I had trained myself not to say the first thing that comes to my mind anymore, but instead to say what I had planned. The words we choose have a lot to do with whether we are able to maintain our calmness goal or not. It's vital we plan those words out carefully. Calmness is vital for self-mastery, for peace, and for really healthy, good relationships with the people that we love. I want to help you more with that. So I have a gift for you. It's called the Calm Parenting Toolkit. If you go to the description below this video and click the link there, it will take you to the Calm Parenting Toolkit, which will give you additional tools that you need, words to say so that you don't keep falling back on the habits you already have. Things you can share with your children too to help them be calm. This Calm Parenting Toolkit is something I've been hoping to give to people for a long time. I hope you enjoy it.